and welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're doing good. I hope that you're having a good day. You had a good day. You're going to have a good day. I just hope that you're good and optimistic all around. It's still quarantine season, so in that regard, things are easing up quite nicely. Stores are opening back up. It's really nice to see kind of a return of activity. Like I said in my thing last week, there's this like thing of wanting to return to normal versus not wanting to return to normal. But I think it's overall nice to just see people again, and whatever you want to define that as, whether it's normal or abnormal, that's your call. But I feel like my feet are kind of back on the ground again whenever I go out and I see more people than I did in the last couple months. Like, people are just getting out there again. I was talking to one of my friends and I told her how I really wanted coffee shops to, I'm really looking forward to when coffee shops open back up. Not necessarily because I enjoy being in coffee shops, but I think it just restores some normalcy to your mind when you're walking across the street and you see people having coffee and doing their thing and providing that kind of like a white noise vibe. So yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty nice. Excited about the hustle bustle trying to come back, and I hope that we come back better, obviously not making the same types of mistakes or handling things differently than we did before. Yeah, second thing I wanted to mention is that I'm shooting in the daytime, as you can see, as opposed to the night. And this is something that like the more detail-oriented people may notice. But if you have a preference kind of how the lighting looks, or you think you have ideas or stuff like that, hit me up and let me know. But I kind of personally like it. But then again, I'm open to ways of improving. So yeah, let me know what you think, if you notice that the lighting changed or not, and things like that. Yes. Then the other thing I wanted to mention before I go into like what this video is about. Oh, I literally said this my first video, and I forgot to address it. So currently, my goal is to put one video up per week. And as time progresses and as I get better at managing my time and all that, I will increase that frequency. But I think now I'm gonna try, this video isn't coming on a Sunday, I apologize, but I'm gonna try to get videos out every Sunday. So like for you to look forward to, something to look forward to every Sunday, Pacific time, Sunday evening. Let's just go that way. And so yeah, that's my current working goal that I'm going to try to shoot for. But the plan is to increase the frequency to twice a week later on, just kind of very regular things. And then as time goes on, we'll explore other things that this channel will capture. But I'm really excited. I'm so proud of myself for sticking to it. I'm so thankful for all my friends who send me messages and encourage me and tell me how good these videos are and how they're enjoying it and how proud you guys are of me. I love you all so much, and I'm so thankful that I have you guys in my life. It's really, really, really helpful to just have that kind of feedback, and it really just keeps me motivated, to be honest. Yeah, so yeah, I said yeah way too many times. Anywho, the videos will be kind of like weekly. Sunday is what I'm shooting for, and God help me, I will try to honor that. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about was just kind of how my week went. Last week was really, and that's why this video is coming later than the previous ones. I was extremely tired last week for so many reasons. The first half of the last week I was kind of sick, and it's hard in this moment, in these times, to tell people that you're sick, because they're like, do you have COVID-19? Do you have COVID-19? And I'm like, no, I'm just like regular old under the weather, nothing too serious. I think it was food poisoning. I'm not sure. But anyway, that was a thing. And then I just had like total body fatigue. I'm just really tired. Still a little bit tired, but not as tired as I was like Thursday, Friday. I was really, really winded those days. And Saturday, oof, that was bad. Anyway, I'm feeling a little better, trying to prioritize stuff. Anyway, yeah, that's all I wanted to share in terms of like the recap of how the week has been for me and what like fun stuff happened. I mean, some fun stuff happened, but I don't have time to talk about it. Okay, so now we move to the crux of the matter, or the topic that I wanted to talk about today, which is the topic of how to be a good friend and what it means actually to be a good friend. So this is something that I think about quite often, partly because as a person I just like to think about ways that I can do things better, partly also because I love people and I genuinely care what people think, not in an unhealthy way where a random person tells me what they think about me and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take it to heart. Like if you don't know me and you give me opinions, especially like critical ones, I don't take them too seriously because I know you don't know me. But anyways, in a general sense, I care for people and I am fascinated by people and I want to understand people. That's something that I'm interested in. So it's something I think about a lot. The concept of friendship and how to be a good friend to people or to your friends and how you define friendship. And this has always been a conversation that when I've had it with people, it can get controversial because of the way I define friendship. And after several conversations with people, I've grown to learn that people define friendship very differently. So, a little bit of context about me. I am an introverted person. And I'm an introverted person who loves people. So, okay, pause, time out. If you're one of those people who thinks being introverted means not talking and like they're equal and the same, then just pause this video and go and do a little, just light reading, light research on what introversion actually means, because you are wrong. You're wrong. Introverts aren't mute people. They're people who are introverts. So, as an introvert, I am capable of talking. I am capable of carrying conversation. And I'm actually fairly good at it. The fact that I'm an introvert doesn't mean I don't know how to talk to people. I don't even know where some of you get that from. Anywho, I'm salty about this because I cannot count how many times if I tell someone, oh, I'm introverted, they're like, no. Anyway, I'm an introvert, which means I don't get a lot of energy from being in very, very heavily social environments. And I don't like having too many friends, or I mean, I guess that factors into, yeah, I make friends. It's more difficult for me to make friends than your typical extrovert, because I'm a lot more picky about my relationships that way. And that has definitely been a thing that has caused some controversy in terms of like my relationships with people, because like I said, I'm an introvert, but I'm fairly good at carrying out conversation and I'm a pretty passionate person. So when I'm talking about something that I'm really interested in, I can go on and on because like if the topic is mentally interesting enough for me, I will carry on a good conversation with anyone, honestly, about it. And so I can actually just make great acquaintances that way, which is how I define it. But I had a conversation with someone who is now someone I consider a friend-ish. Anyway, but I was just saying how I don't have many friends, and the person said, asked me, "Are we friends?" And I was like, no. And the other thing about me is I actually like to be honest, but I'm learning that some people don't appreciate honesty, which is weird to me, but I don't know. This is another thing I'm still thinking about and contemplating how to be true to who I want to be versus how to serve my friends well, which leads back to the question, how are you a good friend? How can you become a good friend? And what does it mean to be a good friend to someone? Because for even people I consider acquaintances, they're people that I care about and they're people that I try to support. But like my friendships are more of people I will have deeper conversations with, people that I would talk to a little more often than I do a regular person or an acquaintance, or people that have more insight into my life than just your general genre jingo. I yeah, I'm not someone who tells everyone everything about me, but I'm also a pretty open person. So I think a lot of people can think like they know a lot about me, but in reality, very few people actually know a lot about me. Um, this is actually a really interesting thing to me. So if you have thoughts about this, or if you're anything like me, just comment below. I want to meet my fellow weirdos. You're not a weirdo, you're a good person. Anyway, yeah, as I was saying, it's so when this person asked if we were friends and I said no, I consider us acquaintances, they got upset, understandably, now that I think about it in hindsight. And they were like, I thought we were friends. And I was like, well, anyway, the general gist of that conversation was that it ended awkwardly. But the reason it did was because they thought that it was a demeaning thing to be an acquaintance. And so the way that I describe an acquaintance is just someone I'm friendly with, someone that I can carry conversation with, someone I could even hang out with a couple times, but not necessarily someone that I would instinctively run to when I'm struggling or in trouble or I need to talk to someone. It's not like the first person or first top 10 people in my mind to text when I have like things that I normally wouldn't share with people, you know? And I don't have very many people like that. And I don't think it's like a terrible thing. I actually don't have the energy to have a lot of people in my inner circle because I'm an introvert. I cannot afford to have 20 good friends. I really just can't. And maybe if I have 20 good friends, they're just like friends in different seasons, because I honestly cannot maintain a close relationship with 20 people at the same time. I cannot do it. I have no energy for it. I know people who can do it and they do it so well, and it's a graceful, beautiful thing to see, but it's just not for me. It really isn't for me. So, the that this whole situation and how the conversations have played out has always led me to kind of question, what do you consider a friend, right? How do you define friendship? And in terms of how you define friendship, like, or if you're like me and you have friends and acquaintances, or like you have best friends, regular friends, not so close friends, like how do you define it? I'm really curious, so I would like to actually know. You can comment, please, to let me know more for my just mind exercise. And I think it's really cool to share things about that. And this is a topic that I plan on talking a little bit more about, because I don't want to make my videos extremely long, number one. And number two, this is not a thing that I can cover in 15 to 20 minutes. It's not. It's just relationships as a whole and interaction with people is such a complex thing. That's why psychologists have a job, always. Because you'll just never understand the whole gist about people, and you just need to keep understanding it. Anyway, but I'd like to know what you consider a friend, and especially for like extroverts. I'm curious to know, having friends and having more friends than the typical introvert would, how that impacts the relationships that you consider are close, like what the differences are and how easy it is for you to maintain several close relationships in that sense. Yeah. And in terms of like a tip that I would leave you with, because like I said, in earlier videos, I want when you come here to kind of leave with something that I think is actually beneficial. And this is just the way I'm thinking about things. This is how I look at life. And it's something that gives my life meaning and fulfillment. So I hope that it does same for you. But in terms of being a good friend, either to your close friends, to your acquaintances, to your not so close friends, to the people you don't really like that much, I just think it's really important to be kind to people. And one thing that I'm learning though is that being a good friend does not mean I am a yes girl, because I always, always, always make the mistake to think that if I don't do something the way this person wants me to do it for them at the time that they want me to do it, then I'm not being a good friend and I've disappointed them in one way or another. Now, I think that the way you communicate stuff to people really matters. So if you're really unable to do something and your friend asks you to do that and you're like, nope, I can't do it, I'm taking me time, it could come across as selfish. So I think taking care to let people know how you're feeling, which is something I'm learning to do because sometimes I can be very blunt. And so the thing that's coming out of my mouth does not match the intention behind how, like the intention I had when I said it. And so in terms of being conscious of other people and just being kinder to people and making sure that my care is translated accurately, I try to take a step back and think, okay, how does this person perceive that? I have friends who have no problem with my bluntness and I can just go off and they're fine. They know that I don't mean any harm. And then other people be a little more upset. So those people are the ones that are actually trickier for me to engage with or have a close relationship with, because, and it's honestly harder for me to be friends with those people because I always feel like I'm walking on eggshells around them and I can't be honest. And so it kind of puts some sort of a barrier between us. Like it doesn't allow us to like click, if you want to use that word. But I think that it's something that I would like to work on. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just something I appreciate versatility and I like being able to relate with different people. Communication is something that I'm really interested in, and I like a practical way that shows up is I like learning languages. So yeah, I'm gonna end this because it's getting super long. But anyway, let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, do all the stuff that people do on YouTube. And thank you for watching my video, and I will see you next week. Let me know if you want me to continue on this, and I'm happy to do so because it's really interesting to me. Anyway, bye. Thank you.